Here's a rack I played recently. I got a run of 126. This is somewhere towards the beginning of that run. And I think this is a good example of kind of what you got to deal with in a lot of straight pull racks is thinking about access to balls, where they go, and short side position. So you notice on that shot, straight high ball, a lot of times that ball hits the rack ball, Fuller backs up and goes forward. This time it came off the rack, and I was kind of fortunate to hit another ball. And it could have scratched easily. Let me pause this real quick. It could have scratched real easily, but you've got to make sure you have forward rotation on the cue ball. I mean, a real follow stroke, lots of forward spin, because that's what made my cue ball hit this other ball, and then it went to the bottom rail again. It curved forward again off that second ball that it hit, and that's what kept it from scratching. So now you look at this shot. This is just an ideal situation. I've got 4 balls, any one of which could become a break ball. I get through this rack, but not in the best way. The only reasonable shot I have is this ball, and there's one tiny little cluster. What I'm trying to do on this shot is draw the cue ball into this stripe, because then the stripe will go this way, this stripe will go this way, and hopefully my cue ball will stop right there. I'll have a shot on this ball next, that's my insurance, or possibly this ball in the side pocket. I want to do that because if I hit the 6 ball is going to carry him off the 10 and go this way and mess things up. And indeed, that is what happens. Don't quite hit it right. And this is the difference. I'm learning a really, really hard lesson. This is the difference between running lots of balls easily or having trouble getting through every rack. Because the 6 ball went here and tied up with one of my break balls. Now I have to deal with that. How am I going to deal with that? So immediately, right after the first shot, everything became tough. So it really pays to walk around before you shoot this ball that was here and look at the exact angle and make sure you get that right. Because if I had gotten that right, the whole rack would have been much simpler from the beginning. Okay, so now I've got to play short side position. What I notice immediately here is I need to deal with these balls. It might be possible, it might have been possible to shoot this combination, which is my easiest shot, and bring the cue ball here. Then I can shoot this ball in the corner and roll forward to here. Because then I've got short side position on the 6 in the corner. And that frees everything up. What makes that work is I don't have to play position, just a stop shot, and I've got position on this ball here. So that's one example of short side position. I don't play it, but that's the type of thing that you've got to be ready to see and to play position for if you want to get yourself through some of these tricky racks of straight pool. What I do instead is I've noticed that a stop shot on that combination gives me an angle on this 2 ball in the side, and I'm going to use that to nudge the 6. And then I've got position again on this ball on next. The problem with that is it's sending this 15 towards the 4, so I might tie that up. So this isn't the best solution. Look how difficult this rack is becoming right from the first shot because I didn't get the right position on the first shot. Now, if I hit this hard enough, the 15 will hit this ball and knock this ball here, and everything will be open and it'll be okay. Look what happened. That created another problem. This is the reason why you want to try and clear your straight pool racks without bumping other balls. Because when you bump balls, bad things happen. Even you try your hardest to bump a ball into an open position and not tie up another ball, and it happens anyway. There's no one who's perfect at this. And then I also thought that I might have position on this ball, and I don't have it. So now I have to shoot this stripe. So you see how everything just gets overly complicated. Now I have to deal with this ball. And what I'm noticing right away is that if the 6 ball's gone, I can get short side position on this stripe and shoot it in this corner pocket. And this 3 ball gets me that short side position. So that's what's on my mind at this moment. But I've got to shoot this stripe. Because I have to shoot that stripe, my cue ball is going away from these balls. I want it to stay down here, but I can't. It's got to go away. So I'm going to use this opportunity to go get the 5 ball. Might as well use this opportunity to get the 5, because I'm going to be able to come back down table in a couple of different ways. Now here I'm playing position on 2 balls. I want position on this 5, but it's really, or is that the 3? I want position on this ball, the 3 ball. But it's really hard because I want to be able to get straight in and tap it in. Hold on a second, Bob. I want to get straight in so that I can tap it in and hold position on this ball. I think this ball does go past the 6. So that would be a great shot. But the 11 is in the way of getting straight in. So I'm going to try and get as close to straight in on this 3 as I can. At the same time, I'm playing position for this 15. So I'm just trying to go forward 2 rails right to here. I'm playing position for 2 balls at one time. Here comes the cue ball. I've got position on that ball on the side, and I've got position as straight in as I can get on this 3. Now, looking at it today, it kind of looks to me like I ought to be able to gently tap this in with some right English to hold the cue ball. The cue ball will go to the rail and just kind of hold it right here. And that's an example of playing short side position. And I think that's the right shot. I shoot the wrong shot, which is to try and bump that ball. I felt that that was safe because it's how hard is that to bump that ball, you know? And then I saw that stripe ball coming over this way, and then the cue ball coming here. So I would have a shot either on that stripe or on the 7 back this way. Instead, what happened? The cue ball settled in right on top of the 7. I don't have a shot. I have one shot, and I'm elevated over the 7 to shoot this 11 in the corner. So I think this is a good rack to show your best intentions can go really wrong. And so this is the second example. If you're going to play the cue ball off the rail and hit those balls, you can't do it gently. You've got to do it hard enough to make sure that the cue ball separates from those balls. But it'd be better to play short side position. Just tap that 3 ball in and shoot that stripe from here, and then you can control the cue ball. So now I've got to shoot a recovery shot. I'm elevated over the 7. I've got to try and ease this ball in the corner pocket and I'm probably only going to have a shot on this 15, but I think the cue ball is going to come off the rail far enough that I might have a shot on this other stripe that's down here as well. But I'm really not playing a lot of position here. I'm just trying to make this ball. And it's so easy when you're hitting it soft with topspin to get some throw, and it's easy to undercut it. Fortunately, the pocket is a bit accepting. I don't undercut it too much, and it rolls right in. So that's nice. Now, this rack should have been very textbook and straightforward, and it's become so difficult. And so I'm studying what to do, and the problem is that I can use either the 3 or the 13, I'm sorry, the 9 or the 7 as a break ball, but they block each other. And so you might think, okay, well, I can come down, clear these balls, and then shoot the 9 in the side as my key ball for the 7 ball break shot. Okay, but I'm on the wrong side of this stripe to get down for these balls. So let me pause Bob for a second here. He's decided what to do, but here's what I just looked at. I want to get the cue ball here, anywhere in this zone, right? Because I'm going to have a shot on this stripe or this solid or the 8 ball. And then I'll be able to maneuver these balls and then get on the 7 somehow. That's what I'm thinking about. But there's 3 ways to get down to that area. And I have an angle on the 1. The cue ball is going to go this way off from this 10. One is a strong draw stroke with left English. So you're going to draw the ball and it'll probably kind of hook and curve. You want to get it tight in the corner. The problem is left English is going to open it up off this rail, and it could come this way, and you could end up with not good position on anything. The other way is stun it with right. So you're going to stun it straight up to the rail, and then the right English this way. You might scratch in the side. I mean, you might not come far enough. You're trying to get the cue ball down here. You're very likely to end up on the rail. So that's tricky as well. I do the third way, which is force follow. And you got to use a powerful, again, forward rotation on the cue ball, because the cue ball doesn't just take a straight line. The cue ball will literally curve off from this 10. You want to get it right to this rail as soon as you can. A lot of right and a lot of top and left English so that it can come 3 rails, and then you're coming over into this zone. You have a much better approach angle for the cue ball coming into this zone. So very much a recovery shot. But isn't it crazy how the lengths you got to go through to get through a rack when you just misplayed a simple little positional shot? That's why you've got to pay attention when you're trying to open balls and do it just right. So now I'm going to take a look at this situation closely. And yeah, I'm going to walk around and take a look, because my best opportunity, I'm looking at the break shot. I'm thinking it'd be easy to play position on the 7 somehow like this. Then I've got to come around later and get position on the 9 ball break shot. And the 9's really high, so I don't want to do that. I want to break with the 7. But the problem is, this is a very shallow angle for the 9 in the side as a key ball. It can work if you land on it very well, but you're probably more likely to want to shoot the 9 in the corner, let the cue ball go to the rail and out. And so I keep looking and I'm thinking about what to do here, and I just decided this is what you have to do. I decided to sacrifice both of these break balls, because the 6 ball is in a real good break ball position. It's right below the rack, right in the middle. And I have balls below. You want to, anytime you're going to use a below the rack break shot, you kind of want a key ball in this area below the rack here. Somewhere in there is where you want your key ball to play position on that below the rack break shot. And so I've decided to go from the 12 to the 7, and then I'm going to bounce out. Actually, I'm going to go from the 12 to this ball and come up. So it's going to be, is this the 15? I can't tell. But this stripe, let me erase those lines. I'm going to shoot this ball, this stripe, then this one, bounce up, shoot the 7, bounce out here for the 9, shoot the 9 here, and roll the cue ball down here for this 8 ball as my key ball. That's my plan. Now I've got a real big window here to get on this 7 ball, and I want an angle anyway. So all I need to do is pop straight up here. You don't want to come over here. Stay away from the ball, because the farther away you are, the less impactful any deviation in your angle is. And that's why what I did here was bad. I needed to come straight up. And if I had hit the same speed, I would have this angle on the 7, and it'd be so easy to just come out like this. Didn't get that angle. So now I'm looking at short side position. You got to do this a lot in straight pull. You got to get good at playing those little short side position. So I'm trying to get to this line, because then I can just draw the cue ball straight back and down for the 8. Or if I come above that line a little bit, I can just follow the cue ball over here and get on the 8 ball. As it is, I get below the shot line. The 1 and the 9 are lined up like there. I mean, that's just horrible. So I look at it, and I'm pretty flat. I've got to cheat the pocket, and I got to use left English to throw the 9 ball into the side pocket, and that left English is going to help me draw the cue ball back more sharply and then spin down for the 8. So this is, again, I call it, this is another recovery shot. That's 2 tips of left spin to get that cue ball to come down there for the 8. Now, Now I just came over and put my cue stick here. What you don't want to do on this key ball is try to bounce the cue ball straight off this rail up to here. Again, we're dealing with such a short position, short zone. It's so easy to get the wrong angle. You want the cue ball to be farther away from your object ball, then any deviation in the angle you got is slighter. So as you can see, the cue ball is farther from the rail than the 8. So this is you shoot it straight in the pocket, no left or right English, and that a nice smooth follow stroke, and that cue ball is going to hook into the rail. You almost won't see it, and it's going to go all straight to the rail here and then off. So you've got a huge margin of error to get on that 6 ball for your below the rack break shot. This is a shot you got to practice. Once you get a feel for it, it's so easy. So controllable. Look at that. Now this is a great angle for this break shot. My cue ball is 4 or 5 inches off the rail, so I'm going to be able to bridge it really comfortably. it's tricky because the 6 ball is just a little bit on the near side of the rack. If the 6 ball was here and my cue ball was going to go into the 3, I would use high right English. And the cue ball would go to the rail, and you should be able to get it at least above, if not back into the rack, and then it'll skip off up above with a high right English. Because I'm on, even though I have an inside angle on this break shot, the ghost ball's here, so I've got an inside angle. The textbook says high right English, but because I'm on the near side of the rack, I know I'm going to end up hitting this ball in the middle of the bottom row, kind of full. And it's for that reason that I'm choosing to go against the standard recommendation for this break shot, and I'm going to go with high left. And that's tricky. You got to practice this a lot so you can get a feel for it. Because I'm using quite a bit of left English, like 2 tips of left English. And you got to hit it quite firm also. So this is a much tougher break shot than I could have. Remember, I had 4 break balls at the beginning of the rack, and I ruined them all. But I should be able to get around the bottom of the rack if I pocket this like that. And that's what that left English does for you. And that is a beautiful result. The only break shot I have is this one, but I'll be able to get position on that. Or, as you can see, I've got a shooting gallery of 4 balls. So I'm looking now at how to get position on the 3 or the 2 to nudge this 1 ball over for a break shot. So I got through that rack because I was able to really think and reason my way through and choose the highest percentage routes, even though I got out of line from the first shot. But I hope you could see the lessons there about short side position. And I'll do some more of those on my Rack of the Weeks in the future, because it's really important. You've got to play a lot of short side position, getting the right angle in a small position zone in order to get through a lot of racks of straight pool. Hope you like that, and see you next week, Rack of the Week. Thanks for watching. Bye.